Good afternoon from Hill the City. I'm Pastor Margie Gonzalez, the chaplain here, and just want to bring you another Take 5 segment. Today we're going to read out of Psalm 40, verse 1. And it says, I waited patiently for the Lord to help me, and he turned to me and heard my cry. No human being in history has ever liked waiting. We want everything fast, ASAP. And to top it off, things like cell phones get us accustomed to instant replies and instant information. And these things eat away at our ability to wait patiently. But this verse reminds us that when it comes to prayer, we have to wait patiently. So the first part of this verse says, I waited patiently for the Lord to help me. One of the lessons God is always trying to teach us has to do with waiting patiently. Since we're used to driving up to Chick-fil-A and getting a meal in under 10 minutes, we want it to work that way when we have a need before God. And, we want prayer to be like the drive-thru. We want to pull up in the line, place our order, and get it to go. But that's not exactly how God works. And prayer requires faith to wait for an answer. Prayer teaches us to be patient. And so the writer here is essentially saying, I waited and I waited. In fact, that's what the original language says. Here's what it means in Hebrew. In waiting, I waited. In other words, he waited and waited. And he waited with hope, though, and he waited diligently. He waited earnestly and with perseverance. In other words, he didn't stop praying. He didn't stop bringing his need before God. He waited patiently for God to answer. There's an acronym that we use when it comes to prayer. It's the letters P-U-S-H, push, the word push. But when you break those letters up, it means pray until something happens. You see, your prayers immediately reach heaven, but receiving your answer may take a while. You see, you've already prayed it, God's already working, but maybe in your immediate sight, you don't see anything. But it doesn't mean that the prayer hasn't hit heaven, and it doesn't mean that God isn't moving. But we have to learn to wait until we see the fruit of it. The second part of this verse says, he turned to me and heard my cry. Over and over, the Bible assures us that God not only hears our prayers, he answers them. Mark 11:24 says, I tell you, you can pray for anything. And if you believe that you have received it, it will be yours. Matthew 7:7 says, keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open to you. Matthew 21:22 says, you can pray for anything, and if you have faith, you will receive it. 1 John 5 verses 14 through 5 says, we are confident that he hears us whenever we ask for anything that pleases him. And since we know he hears us when we make our requests, we also know that he will give us what we ask for. So you may think that nothing is happening or that God isn't listening, he's not hearing you, but you simply need to wait patiently. Because the truth of the matter is that when God seems silent, it's usually because he's working things out for you. Because God always hears you and he always answers you. You don't have to understand everything that he's doing, but you have to understand that sometimes, we want things done now. Again, we want things done ASAP. We want everything fast. We want everything done our way. But God's ways are perfect and his timing is perfect. And if you can learn to wait patiently, you will see the answer and the response to every need, every prayer you've brought before him. And so today I ask you, will you learn to pray and wait patiently until God answers your prayers? God bless you. 5 segment, another devotional, and today I want to read out of Psalm 9 verse 10. It says, those who know your name trust in you, for you, O Lord, do not